Okay, so the Tangerine Tyrant sat there in the Oval Office in his diaper and told the world, and I quote, "We don't need their energy." Which is ironic because Canada is the single largest source of crude oil to the United States. And we also provide power to most of the eastern states. Now, we know anything that comes out of his mouth is a load of poop. But the fact is, he said it again. And we're going to remember this. I mean, this is probably the second major time that he's said that he doesn't need anything from Canada. So any tourism official or government official that's trying to beg us to come back, I'm going to throw this message in your face. But when it comes to the CUSMA negotiations, Taco Tuesday said he's not looking to renew. And Tom Mulcair, former NDP leader, has a very blunt and realistic opinion of what's going on right now. And I want to share it with everyone. But first, I want to show what Taco Tuesday actually said. And don't worry, chipmunk mode is enabled.
Well, I'm not looking to renew it. I don't, I made the deal. And the primary reason I made the deal is that NAFTA was the worst trade deal I've ever seen. And I made it better, but I had the right to terminate. NAFTA was a disaster for our country. The worst trade deal ever made, by far. You know, they had typos in, okay? And they were supposed to correct them. And they never corrected them when they were signed. They knew they were typos. And there's a process for that. We should have surpluses with them. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything.
All right, Canada, you heard him. He doesn't need anything from us. So any of the tourism officials, any of the government officials, or the hotels, or the shops that say they want Canada to come back, all I have is one message for you. Go talk to your president. You see, this is the rhetoric I'm talking about, and Canada does not deserve this disrespect. This is exactly why I created this channel, to call out the BS from the United States president. And it really bothers me now that we've heard it again. It really bothers me when I hear the US government officials and tourism officials trying to beg us to come back. Sure, these tourism officials and hotel owners, they may not have said it themselves, but this guy is your leader, and this guy represents your country. For any tourism official or business that says that we're family and we have history, well, I say screw that history. And yeah, I'm a little bit fired up right now, because Canada does not deserve this. We don't deserve this from a quote-unquote friend. And I called it. I said every so often he's going to say something really stupid, just like this. And yeah, he might be thinking that it's a CUSMA negotiation tactic. But us Canadians, we have a long memory, and we're going to remember this. Now, I want to move on to Tom Mulcair's take on this, because I agree with everything he says.
Commentator Tom Mulcair, former leader of the NDP. Tom, good to see you on this Wednesday.
Good to be with you, Todd.
So in the space of about 3 minutes, the president said, "I'm not looking to renew it. I don't know that I'm going to renew it. We'll see if we do something." What does that mean?
Means it's Donald Trump speaking. And Canada's going to have to do the same thing when he discovered that we were the source of fentanyl and all the deaths in the United States, even though Canada accounted for less than 0.4% of the fentanyl going into the States. Look,
You know, I actually forgot about the whole fentanyl thing. I mean, there's just so much going on. I mean, it's something that I totally forgot about. But we all know it was a cop-out. I mean, being accountable for less than 0.4% of the fentanyl going into the United States. I mean, if I switch it around, how many guns are coming from the United States into our country? And same with illegal drugs as well. We all know that this was just an excuse. I mean, it was an excuse so that he could put tariffs on us. But is this something that you do to a friend and a partner? No, it's not.
this was, it's awful to say it, but it was entirely predictable that Trump would try this sort of negotiating tactic, because that's all it is. This is a negotiating tactic by Donald Trump to try to say, I don't even need this deal, so come to me with something better than what I would get otherwise. Canada and Mexico are very close trading partners of the United States. Trump says he doesn't need anything that we have, and that there's a trade deficit with Canada. Well, you know why there's a trade deficit? Pierre Poilievre pointed this out perfectly in a speech in New York. The trade deficit is largely because of the fact that we export cheaply lots of petroleum straight to the United States to be refined there. We don't even add the value to our own raw natural resource here. So if Donald Trump wants us to put an end tomorrow to the trade surplus, we can. And we'll stop shipping them oil cheap, and they can pay it much more on the global market. But of course, he doesn't take that into account.
Now, I'm not an economics guy or a politics guy or anything, but I'm getting kind of tired of giving these friends and family discounts to the United States. I mean, why are we still giving them discounts? And why are we still helping them when their president is saying all of this BS? I would love Canada to say, okay, you know what? You're not getting a more friends and family discount, and you're going to pay full price now. Now, I know that's going to cause a lot more problems, and Diaper Donald will just throw another tantrum. But half of me feels that, you know what, maybe we need to go through this hurt to show them that we're not going to take this anymore. This is just my opinion, but I still feel that we're not doing enough to disconnect from the United States. Still giving them a friends and family discount, I mean, that's still keeping us attached to them. I mean, can you imagine if we stopped all oil exports to the United States? How much of a tantrum he would throw? I mean, to be honest, all hell would probably break out. But maybe we need to go through that in order to have a proper breakup with the United States.
Because Donald Trump is always about, well, what can I have now? And what can I get more for myself without ever considering the fact that I'm in a trade relationship, and a relationship requires you to take into account your partners. Canada and Mexico were wise as well, because this deal, signed the last time around under Trump, yes, it lapses after 6 years. It has to be renegotiated. But if it doesn't get renegotiated, it continues for another 10 years. Donald Trump knows that as well. He's got a lot of governors of the states that do a lot of business with Canada. He's got a lot of his own Republican senators and Congress people who know darn well that Canada is terribly important to them and to their states.
Yeah, but what have these governors actually done? They've done absolutely jack shit. And they're not going to stand up to Donald Trump because they're a bunch of chicken shits. All they've really done is beg Canada to come back. Which brings up a question. Why should Canadians help these states and their governors when these governors won't even help their own country?
So he's doing the typical Trump thing, saying 3 different things in 3 successive sentences. And at the same time, he's just trying to use this as a negotiating position, as a bargaining chip to say, I don't even know if I have to deal with you guys. He does. He knows it. We know it. And again, this is all typical Donald Trump bluster.
So you're saying it's a scare tactic, more threats, making the Canadian government nervous.
Yeah, and also to make the other parties want to get a deal even more. He might cut us out of a deal completely. We better do something.
Now, is that really a friend that we want? I mean, do you really want a friend that's going to try to scare you into a negotiation tactic? Or a friend that has to strong-arm you into a deal so that he gets the benefit and you don't? What comes to my mind right now is an interview that the Deputy Prime Minister of Sweden actually had with our news media. Let me show you.
For Canadians in particular who are watching tonight, wondering what this means for them, how would you answer that?
No, to put it very, very bluntly, it would mean Canadian jobs in Canada. It would be a Swedish fighter jet, world class, but it would be a true partnership, and that is what we're saying now. We're friends, we're allies, we're true partners. That is what we're working for with this strategic partnership that was signed between my Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson and Prime Minister Mark Carney today as well. So it would entail concrete job opportunities here.
Now, if you ask me, this is a proper friendship and partnership where both sides get to benefit. These are countries that I wish Canada would deal with more. And, it's just my opinion. I really wish we can cut more ties with the United States. I know it's not as easy as said, but I think we need to really start, to be honest. All right, let's get back to the interview with Tom.
Again, if his key complaint with Canada, and he said it was the same with Mexico, is a trade surplus, Canada can settle that overnight. We turn off the taps for petroleum being shipped to the States. And why not, go after potash as well, which is an ingredient in all the fertilizers that goes into every acre of every farm in the United States of America.
Now, can you imagine if Canada actually did that and restricted the amount of potash going south? I mean, selfishly, I kind of wish Canada would do that because that would give me so much content to provide you guys with. I mean, I can imagine the headlines now. Iowa farmer just realized his potash comes from Canada and he's going to lose his farm. Now, I know cutting oil and potash to the United States sounds really extreme, but I do have to ask, are we going to get to that point where we might actually have to do it? Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this.
We're the biggest producers in the world, one of the biggest producers of both. And so let Trump keep whining, as he always does, blubbering about the fact that everything is so unfair. He gets an unbelievable deal from Canada with regard to oil. That's why the oil prices and the gas prices in the States haven't shot up even more than they have. And we can absolutely take care of the trade surplus by turning off the taps to Canadian oil being shipped to the States.
CTV's Tom Mulcair, CTV News political commentator, former leader of the NDP. Thanks for this. Good to see you.
All the best, Todd. Take good care.
Now, one thing they didn't mention is the Canadian electricity that's going to the eastern seaboard. I mean, we could also turn that off as well. Now, I want to show another report from CTV. And it has a few more points that I want to comment on. It's on the same topic. Let's take a look.
It appears the United States will blow past a July 1st deadline to renew the crucial Canada-US-Mexico Agreement on Trade, or CUSMA. Donald Trump telling reporters today he's not looking to renew the deal and that the U.S. doesn't need anything from Canada. CTV's Rob Buffum has more.
Well, I'm not looking to renew it.
Donald Trump threatening not to extend CUSMA, the free trade agreement between Canada, the United States, and Mexico.
We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything.
To be blunt, this sequel to The Art of the Deal is pretty lame.
Yeah, I think all Canadians can kind of agree this is pretty lame what we're going through right now. But the question is, what do we do about this? I mean, how do you deal with a toddler? I like Tom Mulcair's route. You basically just cut everything off, which it will come with a lot of consequences. But it's going to put us in the right direction if you actually want to break up with the United States. I mean, it's going to be painful, but what breakup is not painful?
Negotiated by Trump in his first term, the agreement is up for review July 1st. If renewed, it would be extended for 16 more years. The thing is, even if it's not renewed next month, it stays in place for another 10 years, with annual reviews used to potentially modify it.
This is typical Trump, blowing smoke, pretending he is the master negotiator, the art of the deal guy. Canada and Mexico have already stated publicly that they would like to renew.
The deal does allow for any of the countries to end it with 6 months' notice, a move that could trigger tariffs on the 85% of Canadian exports to the U.S. currently protected by CUSMA. But Trump didn't go so far as to threaten to tear it up, just not to renew it beyond 2036, as Canada has pushed for in trade talks for months.
Now, even if Taco Tuesday decided to renew, do you trust that he's going to honor anything in the agreement? I don't. He's just going to throw more tariffs on us. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If it is end up renewed, do you think he'll honor it?
A bit bizarre if the president doesn't want to renegotiate CUSMA, then what are we doing? Let's just get on with business. Let's have both sides respect the agreement.
Still, the specter of annual reviews of a free trade agreement or its potential termination creates uncertainty for industry.
If it's ripped up, then who knows who has control except for the President of the United States.
Canada's trade team has just returned from a visit to Washington, D.C., and Trump's latest remarks are seen by some as classic bluster, 3 weeks ahead of a deadline by a negotiator known for dealing in uncertainty.
Now, I'm not a betting person, but my guess is going to be that Taco Tuesday is going to say no, he's not going to renew, Canada's being unfair, and it wasn't a good deal for the United States. I mean, it's so damn predictable, everybody can see this. But I think Canada needs to be prepared for it not to be renewed. And I'm sure our government has contingencies for this. But we need to do whatever we can to protect our own country from this Oompa Loompa. Like seriously, I didn't realize how orange he actually is. But this whole we don't need anything from Canada thing is really starting to get old. And you know what? I think we're at that point right now where we need to move on. And when I say move on, I mean like cut the ties. I trust that our government knows this. And my guess is that when it comes to the fighter jets, they might be waiting for CUSMA to be finished. Or at least the negotiations, or whatever we would call it. But when it comes to us everyday Canadian citizens, this latest stunt saying that he doesn't need anything from Canada, yeah, I'll probably use it as fuel for my future videos. If I ever do reports on like tourism officials or businesses or government officials playing the victim saying that the Canadians are hurting their business, I'll throw your president's word right back at you.
We should have surpluses with them. We don't need their cars. We don't need their lumber. We don't need their energy. We don't need anything.
So to my Canadian viewers and even my international, if you feel your boycott is like starting to slow down and you need more motivation, just rewind and watch that clip. To close off this video, I would like to thank Jay, who took this photo from False Creek in Vancouver, British Columbia, my home. I used to live on the other side of BC Place, so I'm very familiar with this area. And I do miss the seawall. I mean, you don't realize what you have until you can't get to it. So I want to thank you, Jay, for sharing this photo of my home with the rest of the community. Alright everyone, that's all I got for this video. If you found any value in anything I said today, or you want to hear more from a Canadian and international point of view, without the US media bias, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below. That way you'll be notified of my future videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon and select all as well. Now, if you want to see more of my videos, check out the ones that are going to show up on your screen shortly. Thanks everyone, I'll catch you in the next one.